Do you see my wee mound? Isn't it of the highest quality? See, usually these wee mounds are where the raptors come to eat their dinner. And this one looks like that's exactly what it is. Might have been an owl as well, hard to tell. Short-eared owls out here. I mean, according to the experts, there aren't, but there are. You see them occasionally. So I'm walking to trout today, but I thought I would show you the view first. It's a calm, sunny day. There's a northeasterly breeze, what there is of it. So it's not a good day for fishing, as you can see, but what a lovely day to be out. And I mean, who wouldn't come out, you see, on a day like this? Even if it's just for the walk. So I'm going to walk up the hill here, and it is a bit sloggy to get up, but sure, that'll keep me fit, you know, or help get me fit. And once I get up and over the top, there's a loch here that contains no fish. And you're going to say, what? Are you mad? And I am. I'm absolutely mad, right? I fish. This loch's of great interest. There used to be fish in it. And I fished it for 20 odd years, maybe more. I fished it maybe say 20 or 30 times, you know, over many years. And I've never seen or caught a fish. I've even brought the spinners up and all sorts of implements of destruction, as Arlo Guthrie would say. But still, absolutely nothing. So I'm going to make my way up today and take another look, in part because the flat cam, if there's a fish in it and it moves, I might just see it. Also because I heard a rumour that someone maybe caught a fish from it. Now, back in the 1980s, there were fish in it, and they were believed to have died out. The burn blocked up, the level of the loch rose. So it's a kind of interesting one, and I find it fascinating. So I know you're going to say, well, this is madness, a fishing video, and he's going to a loch with no fish. But I'm absolutely fascinated if there will be fish in it. You see, that's the thing. And look at the view I've got, you know. I mean, what's not to like about this, you know? So I'm going up and over the top here behind me, and we'll see. And you see, I've got all my gubbins here. For climbing up the hill, including my GPS, because I have a wee path up here that I follow, and the track's still in the GPS, because the ground, as you can see, is a bit haggy. Maybe actually you can't see anything with the sun. The ground's a bit haggy, you see. So I'm going to hike up and over the top here, and then we'll see if we can't get ourselves a fish. And like I say, I have to assert that the chances are very small, but a bit of fun. So I've made it up to the loch, and as you can see, I'm suffering badly from flat cam. I'm hoping that, you know, as the day goes on, that the wind might get up a bit. You know, as the thermals come up and whatnot, might get a wee breeze. But not great. However, this is probably the best loch on the island for wind, in the sense that it sits on top of this hill here. So if I'm going to catch any wind at all, this is the best place to be today. And seeing as I'm out today, I have to make the best of it, you know. So I'm going to walk around to the loch, maybe over to that far side, and start fishing there. And I might walk the whole way round as the day goes on. In the distant past, when there were no one to be fishing it, I think this sort of corner used to be the best place. Because before the water level rose, I think there was like an island or something here. So I'll start on that far side, I think, and work my way around. I'm not in any big rush. I don't need to be too dynamic here, because really part of my plan was to come here when it was fairly calm to see if I could see any fish moving, because I'm convinced this loch's empty. and has been for 30 odd years. But there were fish in it in the distant past, and of course you're always interested. So this is more a scientific and interest voyage than a fishing voyage. I can hear the Coast Guard helicopter and the planes in Stornoway Airport. It's funny how quiet day then they carry so far, you know. So I've been walking around here to the far corner, and I was deliberately walking along the banks and, you know, making a bit of thud and whatnot, but I saw fish rise just out there. Definitely a trout rising. I don't think it was big trout, mind you, but there's a wee weedy bed there, and there was definitely a fish moved. And that's the first fish I've ever seen in this loch in, I don't know how many years of coming up here. It might be 30 or 35 near, you know. I would say I've been here 20 or 30 times. And that's the first time I've ever seen a fish move. So that's interesting. And that's what I came to find out, really. I can probably turn and go back now. I haven't even cast yet, but I'm going to make it round a wee bit. And then I'll maybe come back and fish along this bank here in this direction, just in case I can move this fish. But in this flat cam, it's highly unlikely. But when you see the first fish ever on a loch for 30 years, it's got to be worth a punt, you know. Might be better to wait and see if we get a bit more wind in the afternoon. So we'll move along a bit and see. Well, that was the interesting discovery. I'm just studying as I go in case there's anything else, or in case my movement, you know, disturbs a fish and we see some sign of it. Well, not that I can see. So, a wee breeze, just a wee bit. I'll go up here to where there's a wee hint of a breeze. I'll maybe come back and fish this later. It's very, very, very calm here, so I'm not so keen on splashing about in it. But there's a tiny hint of a ripple up there, so we'll go up and see. Before I started the fishing, I decided to come and take in the views and just sit up here and make a cup of tea and watch the world go by. And interestingly, I have seen another 2 fish rising. So there's not just one fish in here, there's more than one. And that's quite remarkable. Now, I have to guess that someone put them in here, because there is no way for fish to get up here. I mean, I'm literally sitting right on top of a mountain, or a saddle between 2 mountains, I suppose, more realistically. So, so I'm guessing that somebody brought some fish up and put them in here, and they've been successful. As you can see, maybe, I don't know, can you see I've got a few wee flies? They're not actually midges. They're like buzzer type things. I mean, they're, you know, similar to midges but bigger. They're on my banana. So a bit of wind would do me no harm. Oh, here are they, flying ants? Oh, I think they are. I think they're maybe flying ants, actually. Hey, get out of my tea. So I'm being attacked by flying ants. I've got into my tea. Go on. Go off. Gotta say, they don't seem to like the midgie repellent. So, that seems to be effective. Get out of my tea! Well, this is a titanic struggle here now. I wasn't expecting this. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Look, there's 5 more in my tea since I last took them out. I don't know what it is about my tea that they find particularly attractive. Right, this is getting disagreeable. I may have to get a lid for my tea. I'm going to be here all day just picking them out. Go on, go away. So, yeah, so things aren't working out the way I'd hope. However, it's great, it's fantastic up here, I'm liking it. And I'm now really interested in the fact that I've seen a fish move, or several fish move. So, I know there hasn't been any fishing yet, but I'm going to have my cup of tea if the ants stay out of it. And then I'm going to take to putting the rod up and having a cast. How does that sound? Eh? Look, oh, what a fantastic view I've got though. It's just amazing. So I'm starting with a tail and black on the point and one of John McLean's special Connemara blacks that he ties as a bob fly, excellent fly. I'm starting with one of those on the top. So a sort of quite a dark selection to start with. And I can chop and change as the day goes on. And I'm fishing my Dave Lewis rod today. This rod was built for me by an American rod builder called Dave Lewis, who died quite some years ago now, maybe 10 years. But an excellent rod builder. And it's an 11-foot, look, there was a fish moved, I think, you see. I wonder, can we cover it? In view of the fact that there might be so few fish that it might be, you know, might be worth covering whatever's there. Yeah, so the rod is an 11-foot. I think it was actually designed as a 6 weight, but actually it casts a 7 really well. So because I'm pretty much standardized on 7 weights for everything, and some 4 weights for some days, you know, so I'm pretty much standardized on 11-foot 7 weights. So I just use a 7 weight line on it. And it's a lovely rod, built on a sage blank, so it's a bit faster than my other rods, and therefore with the first cast or two it takes a wee while getting used to it, you know, just because it does feel a wee bit different, you know. Right, let me move up. That point up there seems to have a bit more of a wind on it, so I might move up there, give that a wee try, and I can come back here for my lunch. Big dragonfly, yeah. Seems to have been a good year for dragonflies. Dragonflies and frogs. It was what do you call it, El Nino winter, and then it quickly changed to El Nina. So we might get quite a few storms this autumn. Certainly, it's likely America will, because that's how these things progress, you know. But of course it's been quite wet, but and quite a mild winter because of the El Nino. So that seems to have done some things well, but of course the wet spring didn't do well for the grouse. It's hard on them because the chicks obviously don't like to be wet all the time, you know. So as with anything in life, some of the animals benefit and some of them haven't, you know. I've eaten my rolls, had my lunch, and I am going to fish along this wee bit, see if I can move anything here. I still have the grass grabber on, the unofficial name anyhow, and I put a Barvis crippler on the top, or a Barvis crippler in the point, sorry, and I know it's a bit on the big side, maybe a bit overdressed in these conditions, but the Barvis crippler, you know, it usually delivers. Plus, I'm not seeing anything moving and haven't for quite a long time. I mean, I saw a few fish move early on, basically, when I got here, and haven't seen anything since. So, I don't really know what that means, but I imagine they're not super keen at coming up in this bright conditions, you know. There, I'm gonna have a wee rattle along here. See if I can have any success at all. So to get a fish out of here, I might need to come back on a day with better conditions, maybe. But we'll see. It's such a lovely day. I'm enjoying my wee trip, you know. And look, it's a good few years since I've been up here. So enjoying the peace and quiet, you know. Oh well. Well, I don't believe it. On the Barvis crippler, of course. Oh, and a lovely looking wee trout. What a nice wee chap. And let's see if I can release him. Red as you like. Well, what a lovely wee trout. So that's my first trout ever out of this loch after maybe 30 years of trying. And that's just incredible. So there are definitely fish in here. Not big, but there are definitely fish in here. That's just amazing. So I've come onto this wee point just for a last cast. Just to finish off the day. Because it's a bit of a walk down to the car, although usefully it's downhill obviously because it was uphill coming, so that's a good thing. But even so, I have to walk around the loch even, and the loch's quite boggy walking. Plus I'm seeing the mist starting to come in onto the hills, sort of round about, and it looks like it might be moving this way, so I don't want to get caught in the mist. And I mean, I have the GPS and it's excellent, you know, it'll walk me back to my car, because I used it on the way up because I wanted to hit the loch just dead on, and I wanted to follow a path that I'd used before. But nonetheless, if I can avoid the mist, I'll avoid it, you know. So that was an amazing day's fishing. I know that many people won't be too impressed with one small fish for a day, but it has been a difficult weather conditions, but more to the point, one small fish from a loch that didn't hold any fish is really quite remarkable, you know. My suspicion is, or has to be, that someone has brought fish up here, because I am 100% certain that there haven't been fish in this loch for probably at least 30 years, you know. So it'll be interesting to see, but I've seen a few rising, all of them pretty much when I arrived, so I haven't seen anything since then, but I've seen a few rising, which gives me to think there's more than one in here. But catching one's just amazing. So maybe I'll come up some other day when I have better conditions. Catching around the reeds again. Rushes.